I think he's too humble right now. And I want him to be a little bit like, all right, bitch, come on. Like, let's fight. I want this person next. Just go after people. Like, you know, but he seems a little bit laid back. And I know that's how he is. He's a pretty chill dude. But I just want him to be like, man, come on. All right, Balloon's next. Let's do it. Let's do it in April. Let's do it. Like, come on. Let's fucking go. I'll beat his ass too. I already did it the first time. Let's run it back again. Like, that's kind of the type of energy I want from Leon Edwards. And hopefully over time, we'll see it. Hey guys, welcome to the False Nine Podcast here with episode 187. This is your host, Alvaro. Hey guys, welcome to another show, and I think this is going to be the last one of the year. I haven't really decided yet what I want to do. I do want to take a break though. Just don't know how I want to do it. I know I'm off work this whole week, and I'm not work till like late. I don't go back to work till late next week. So I really want to take that time to enjoy and be with the fam and just kind of disconnect from social media. But I know there's going to be times where I want to record or I want to post. I want to read comments. So I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure, though, this is going to be the last episode till next year. So if you guys don't hear from me or don't see me, that's why. But I'll be active on social media. I'll be posting things here and there, and I'll be posting clips for the rest of the week. So we'll have content for that. We just probably won't have content for the following week. But yeah, so guys, I also want to say like thank you for like everything. Thank you for all the follows, all the subscribers, all the views, all the likes, shares, comments, everything that has happened to the channel this year. This year, our channel, the False Nine Podcast has took a major shift into the MMA community, boxing community. It's just me. I was having a good friend doing it with, but we went our separate ways, and that may or may not come back. But at the moment, like this year, like it's been amazing. It's been beautiful, and I'm very thankful. And again, thank you to everyone who's tuned in, whether it's a clip, audio, video, whatever. Just if you saw the False Nine and you saw my face, I appreciate it so much because we have grown a lot this year, especially just the last few months. It has been it's been crazy, and it's been awesome, and it makes me really believe that my dreams are going to come true. And it just, a matter of time. And next year, like, we're just going to go even harder, more consistent. We kind of know what direction we want to go. So that's always a good foundation. And then we just fucking keep going. And hopefully, one day we can be up there and share this stuff with a lot more people. And hopefully we get to the point where we start, talking to pro athletes on this podcast and things like that. So we'll see, man. But again, I just want to say thank you because it's been a ride. It's been amazing. And this year has been the best year of the False Nine out of the three. A lot of people don't know that. This is our third year. And yeah, so again, just want to say thank you so much because it really does make me happy. I love working on the pod. Besides work, I literally do nothing but work on the pod. I work on the pod, I work out, and I fucking play FIFA on my free time. That is it. And I'm the happiest when I'm exporting and posting. I'm like, this is a fucking banger, right? Or this is a clip, and it just makes me happy. So I really can't express how thankful I am. And trust me, guys, hopefully one day when we have a lot more money, we can really spread the things and show you guys, just thank you. We'll figure something out one day, when we get to that point. But enough of that. Let's get this show started. We're going to talk about UFC 296. We'll do a recap. We'll talk about Jake Paul, and then a little bit about, it seems like there's a shift in MMA, so want to say that. But I want to start off by saying that my most recent clip that went up on Saturday around 8 p.m., right before the main event started, I had posted that, Leon's not going to be able to beat up Colby for 5 rounds, and it seems like a lot of people took that post out of context and made it seem like I picked Colby for winning, and it kind of blew up on every channel, you could say, or every platform. And it was just like, oh, this age like milk, then you had it all wrong, or why is this guy still talking? Like, like just the haters, right? And I was really confused because I'm like, bro, literally every clip besides this one was talking about how Leon's just gonna shit on Colby. So I was just confused, and I was really annoyed because I'm like, bro, I got it right, and I posted this clip, and you guys still just focused on this clip, left a comment, and just dipped. And that just makes me realize, like, okay, these people watch this clip, put a shitty comment, move on to the next video till they'll find their next one to shit on, and that's it. So I was just like, okay. So I do want to respond to that because it really did make me mad. Because like I said, my YouTube title for the last episode said, Colby Covington is not going to touch Leon Edwards. I started the episode like that and everything. I was like, bro, It's just not going to be close. And I was right on the fucking money on that fight. So I was just like, what is going on? So I was annoyed by that. So I just wanted to clear that up. And for the people that really thought that I was going for Colby, I'm like, people, just look at the other videos. Look at the YouTube title of my thumbnail. It literally says, you know, what it says, that Colby's not going to be close. So I was a bit annoyed at that, but I did want to clear that up because I was really annoyed by it. So, and I will respond, you know, I'll do a little respond video, and this is it. So, yeah. So, I mean, for the haters, pay more attention, bro. Please. Like, if you're going to hate, at least hate on me for real. Like, criticize me. Like, seriously. Don't just hate on this one video because I started off by saying that Leon's not going to be close to Colby. And like I said, also, I was scared if that fight was going to go 5 rounds, and it was for that reason. Like I said, I got it right on the money. So it was very weird that that video took off, and a lot of the comments were shitty. So, yeah. Wanted to just get that out the way. All right, but let's get started. We're doing just the main event here. I heard the prelims were fire, but, I mean, I wasn't even home for the prelims. So I'm not going to talk about that, but I heard they were fire. We got Josh Emmett versus Bryce Mitchell. Ended in a brutal knockout. Bryce Mitchell took this fight on a 2 weeks notice. So, you know, whether that may or may not have affected him, who knows? But he was very confident. He was a favorite. I thought he was going to win the fight. And he just got caught. Got caught by Josh Emmett. And I feel like Josh Emmett needed this win. He needed that type of win. Like, it couldn't have been any better for Josh Emmett because he has taken some massive L's recently, you know, to Yair, to Torpuria, beat the shit out of him. I want to say he fought someone else that beat him up, but he's been on like a losing streak. So he needed a win like this. And with that tap by knockout, I mean, you just like, oh shit, like that's Josh Emmett, you know, like damn. And I was criticizing Josh Emmett recently. Like, I was like, bro, how is this guy ranked number 5, number 6? Like, you know, he's not that good. And I still kind of feel that way, you know, but he has that power, you know, and we've been knowing this. He catches you with that hand and it's lights out. And that's exactly what he did to Bryce Mitchell. And Bryce Mitchell just walked into it and Bryce Mitchell got knocked out. It was brutal. Dude was shaking. It took him a while to get up. It was pretty scary. I was like, man, I hope he gets up and wakes up and we get to see that. So, like I said, big knockout for Josh. He needed that, and it kind of like not necessarily erases what happened, but it gives him a little bit more hype. It gives us a little bit more reason why to watch Josh Emmett, you could say. And I say that respectfully, you know. Now, next time, I'm like, oh, let's see what Josh Emmett got cooking now. He might get another knockout. And that's what Josh Emmett did in this fight. So, big W for him. Very happy for him. Kind of sucks for Bryce because I know he wanted this win, and I was hoping he would have got it, you know, because I kind of wanted to see Bryce Mitchell succeed. You know, he's a very interesting guy. So, you know, but that's that. I was very excited for that fight, and it was a good one. So, now, the next one, we had Tony Ferguson versus Paddy Pimblett. And it seems like the star of the show was David Goggins for some reason on this one. I was fucking hype to see David Goggins walk out with Tony. I don't care what the result was, but just seeing those two guys together was just like, it just made me happy. And I was like, that's fucking dope, man. Like, you got David Goggins who literally, David Goggins literally changed my life completely. Like, I saw a clip of him on Rogan. I ended up seeing the whole podcast, and then I watched, I don't know if they had another one, but I seen him on another podcast, and then he had a book, so I read his book, and then I listened to his book. And I mean, ever since I've listened to David Goggins, you know, a few months later is when we started the podcast. I started really doing other things and pushing myself, you know, physically and mentally. So that's why I like am huge on David Goggins because, like I said, he changed my life completely. So seeing him with Tony, another guy, Tony Ferguson, was one of the first fighters I've ever saw fight in the UFC. And I was like, okay, like this guy looks kind of Mexican. He's half Mexican. He comes from Mexican descent. So I'll root for this guy. You know, whenever he fights and whenever I run into UFC on TV, then I'll root for Tony if he's fighting. And that happened a lot. Like, I would just unexpectedly see Tony fight a lot. And he was always just trending on social media with beautiful knockouts and beautiful wins. So just seeing his name a lot. And there was a time where Tony was him and nobody wanted to fight him. So the fact that he walked there with David Goggins, I was just like, man, it was almost like nostalgic for me. You know, it was magical. I was like, this is awesome. I don't care what the result is, but, you know, watching my favorite sport or the thing that I love to watch and what I do and what I talk about and then seeing Tony Ferguson, and you got David Goggins walk. I was like, bro, this team's undefeated. They ain't losing. Like, they can go to war with anybody, right? And that's how I felt. I was happy. I was happy to see it, you know. And then, of course, you know, Paddy comes out, and you know, reality kind of sets in. I was like, they get in the cage, and you know, it's reality. Tony Ferguson, he's old. He's getting old, and he had no success striking. His only hope was on the ground, and he had a lot of good moments on the ground. So, but the reality is, you know, Tony Ferguson is old. I think he should retire. You know, he's done more than enough in the UFC, and has, like, you know, got a lot of fans that love him, and I just don't want to see him get beat up no more. I don't want to see him, like, just get bullied in the cage. I want to just see him walk away. I would have loved to see him get the win and walk away, you know, but that didn't happen. And he's just old. It's just past his time, and that's it. So he needs to retire. I will say it's pretty annoying that people are shitting on David Goggins. I'm like, bro, if any of you guys actually know about David Goggins, like, he's that guy, bro. You know, he's that guy. So I don't know why people hating on David Goggins and all this stuff. Because reality is, whether David Goggins was there or not, Tony Ferguson was probably going to lose this fight. He just looked old, slow, old. Paddy was like 2 steps ahead all the time. Like I said, his hope was on the ground, and he almost pulled it off. But, you know, just couldn't do it. He was just fighting a younger fighter who was slightly better. And with that being said, Paddy Pimblett, man, he's not hyped to me no more. Like, there's just nothing. I mean, he's a great fighter. All these guys in the UFC are. But, you know, a close decision against Jared. And as much as I didn't want to see Tony get finished, but he should have finished Tony. Anyone who's not finishing Tony, like, come on, bro. You know what I mean? Especially if you want to be up there. And Paddy's one of those guys that talks a lot of shit. So, yeah, like, Paddy, like, I don't know, man. I don't know where he stands, and I don't know who he should fight next. I feel like Gamrod, Fiziev, Beneil, maybe those guys, or maybe somebody a little bit lower. But I mean, I feel like that would be a closer step to see really where you're at, because I think like Fiziev would get him. I mean, if he fought Jared Gordon, I think Jared beats him again. I don't know, man. Like I said, Paddy might just be a journeyman. I don't know. You know what I mean? So nothing impressive from Paddy. I was just excited to see Tony, but yeah, I don't know what's up for Paddy. Like, I think he needs to get better. He got caught like once or twice by Tony. And I was like, that's just too easy. You got, like, your chin's just there. How is someone like Tony hitting you? And don't get me wrong, Tony's a beast, but he's just a step behind. And he was able to land on Paddy, even if it was just 1 or 2 shots. But yeah. So again, nothing impressive from Paddy. And I just hope that he doesn't lose too much of the hype, because then we will forget about him. And hopefully he manages to stay relevant and keep winning, and just, you know, I guess, live up to that hype. So that was my thought on that. Nothing too exciting, to be honest. So then we have Shavkat versus Stephen Thompson. Now, this fight was very interesting because of how the last fight played out. So in the welterweight division, of course, Wonder Boy's ranked 5. I think Shavkat's like 3. Probably like 1 now. But a good fight. Wonder Boy was stuffing the takedowns early on, you know, and he was doing a really good job. But Shavkat, I mean, when I was watching him fight for the first time live, because it was the first time, I believe, that I've seen him fight live, he reminded me of a python, you know, just slow. You know, like if he was just wrapping himself around you slowly and just squeezing you till you die or till you tap. And I feel like that's what he did to Wonder Boy. Like, that's the best way I can describe it. Probably his hardest, toughest test, you know, for Shavkat. And I mean, he looked great. He got caught with like 1 or 2 punches and strikes, but you know, overall, it was all Shavkat, and he tapped out Wonder Boy, who's never been tapped out in his whole UFC career, from my understanding. So, I mean, he did great. You know, it was nothing like, wow, you know, but it was really impressive, and it was really good. And I think he's, you know, 18-0, 18 finishes. I mean, it's impressive, bro. Like, you can't deny it. Like, it looks good. And also, it seems like he has some torn ligament on his ankle, which is crazy. To go out there and fight like that and be able to get it done. And apparently that's why the fight went how it went, because he went into that fight hurt. But overall, like, he put the division on notice, and if he's not next, then he should be fighting a top contender, right? And the only people that I can think of that he's worth of fighting is for the championship, which is Leon Edwards, or it should be Belal Muhammad for a title eliminator, or Usman. Kamaru Usman would be a good test for him too. So yeah, again, I'm going to hold off on the matchmaking, because when I get to the Leon fight, I want to talk more, because I am going to bring up Shavkat. But I mean, he looked fucking great. He looked awesome, and we'll see if he can live up to the hype where, you know, he's fighting for a title. So, but I'll get back to Shavkat right after the Pantoja fight, and then we get to the Leon and Colby fight. So we had Alexandre Pantoja versus Brandon Royval. I think this fight was very exciting. It went kind of not actually. It didn't go the way I thought it was going to go. I thought Pantoja was going to get the finish in the second, but after the first, I was like, and the second, I was like, this fight's probably going to go to 5 rounds, because Brandon Royval is not giving up at all. Like, not. You know, he was in the fight the whole time, even though he was getting beat most of the time, but he made sure he was in the fight like 90% of the time. And Pantoja, he got gassed out after the third, and the fact that he was still able to get takedowns in the fourth and the fifth to make sure there was no question, you know, in the decision, it's so impressive. And he did it against Brandon Moreno too. Like, he just fights. He fights. And I just find it so hard for somebody to take the belt away from Alexandre Pantoja. I don't know who's going to take it away from him. I really don't. You know, and the only one I can think of is Moreno, but I mean, even Moreno, like, fighting a guy like Pantoja, is like, holy, man, that guy's good. Don't get me, and I would love to see them running back again, you know, late next year. So we'll see what happens though. Brandon Royval, I think in the fourth, and he really picked it up in the a little bit at the end of the fourth, in the beginning of the fifth. He just looked great. His coach gave him a nice little pep talk, and I was like, oh man, we finna have another Leon Edwards moment. You know, that's really what I thought. And he was landing a lot of good punches and Pantoja, and then Pantoja just found a way to get the takedown. And when he got the takedown, I was like, that's it. You know, Brandon did his best, but, you know, Pantoja's just a beast on the ground. And it's just crazy how good Pantoja is on the ground. Like, seriously, it is fucking insane. And it feels like he can grapple with anyone in the UFC. Like, I don't know. I don't care if you're a lightweight, middleweight, welterweight. Like, it feels like he can grapple with anyone. So big W from Pantoja. I mean, like, I don't even care who he fights next, because, like, you know, unless it's Brandon Moreno, but I think he'll just beat everybody, and I don't see anyone besides Moreno taking the belt away from him. And I think Pantoja is going to be running the division for a while. Like, that's just how I see it. I don't see it no other way. Moreno, like I said, Moreno could beat him, but, like, you know, that was his first title defense, and he looked great, and he's only going to get better. And Moreno, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Like, Moreno's great, but I just feel like he's drained. Like, just so many title fights, so many wars. I don't know. That's just how I feel. But I would love to see it happen again. But, you know, explore the division a little bit, make it more fun, just make it diverse, and just try, you know, different fights. I think that's a division where, besides Pantoja and Moreno, like, we just don't know nobody else like that. Like, Brandon Royval is somewhat relevant, but the guy that Moreno's fighting, like, I don't really know who he is, you know? So I think that's a division that we need to find a way, or the UFC needs to find a way to kind of hype it up and get people to watch that division. So that was that fight. Again, a very good fight, and it was awesome. Very entertaining. And then we had we didn't have any finishes besides the Shavkat fight, huh? And the Josh Emmett and Shavkat were the only. Yeah, I know. Last UFC had all finishes, but anyways, Leon Edwards versus Colby Covington, the main event. I mean, it didn't disappoint at all. I thought Leon Edwards was going to get a finish towards the end, but, you know, Colby's a tough guy. That's the only good thing I will say about. Well, there's two things: amazing wrestling, but Colby, he's tough as nails, and he did his best. But I think he got what he deserved. He got his ass beat, and, you know, just kind of looked old, like Dana White, old and slow as well. Just a step behind the whole time, was flinching too much, was too timid or scared to initiate any action with Leon. And every time he did, he just get caught or he get punished for trying anything. So that, and I will say too, guys, like it was pretty, like I've really thought about this. And Leon Edwards, as much as he looked, sharp and composed and calm, he fought emotional. Like he fought with ego, with pride and emotion. He tried to keep it as calm and composed as possible, but he fought with emotion. And it was pretty clear at the end of the fight. The dude was holding back his tears. He tried to prove a point to Colby that he can out wrestle Colby, which he kind of did, which is fucking insane to do that against someone like Colby Covington. So, a little disappointed by that because I wanted to see a good version of Leon. And this is how good Leon Edwards is. Like, as good as he looked, that was not the best version of Leon. He was emotional. And he fought with ego and pride and emotion. So and that's the truth. And I hate that people are saying it was a boring fight. It wasn't entertaining. Shit like that. I'm just like, what do you guys want? I know a lot of people want the knockout and this and that, but Colby Covington's not an exciting fighter. Like he's not. And Leon Edwards is a very patient fighter. Very patient. Like if we look at the Leon Edwards, Kamaru Usman, both fights, both patient, chill, and they set up traps, and like it's very, very technical. And that's what happens when you get to these high level fights. They're just very technical fights. Just like the Volkanovski and Islam, same thing. The first one, it was very technical. So a little annoyed that people were saying that it was boring and da. But also too, guys, like, like that just goes to show you before we really get to the fight, like how we have to appreciate somebody like Kamaru Usman, because it feels like a lot of people, including myself, didn't appreciate Kamaru as much, during his time in his era, because it was a crazy time and he was the dominant champ for a while. And now that he's gone, all these people are complaining about Leon and how this fight was boring and blah, blah, blah. So, but this is Leon's era. This is his time. And again, I don't know who's going to take the belt from Leon. So let's talk about the fight, though. So the fight, very, very steady pace. And Leon right away just walking down Colby and starts chewing up on that leg. Gets working on that leg right away. And like I said, every time Colby wanted to do something, he just get punished for it and get caught. Every time. So that was really 1, 2, and 3. I don't know when it was that Leon stuffed takedowns, of course, but I don't know when when he got his first takedown. And it was crazy because Leon wanted to stay on the ground. And this is why I say that he fought with emotion. Like he decided to stay on the ground. He wanted to wrestle with Colby. He wanted to beat Colby in his own game. And in the last round, especially, Leon's winning the fight no matter what, unless he gets knocked out. And Leon had to decide, I'm winning this fight. I already beat you. So he decided he wanted to beat Colby even more. So I was like, now I'm going to beat you in your own game. And he had success, but at the end, he was the one on the bottom and Colby finished on top. But he wanted to beat Colby Covington in his own game. And he didn't have to. And he could have got up and just had the fight on the feet, because Colby Covington wasn't getting the takedowns like that. I think he got 2 or 3, but he could have kept the fight on the feet, and he decided to go to the ground. And that's why he fought with emotion and with ego, because he wanted to prove a point, and he wanted to let Colby Covington know, like, hey, you're my bitch. I'm going to take this fight to you and your own fight. Like, that's ego. Leon Edwards is not a fucking wrestler. He don't fight that way. So that's why, a bit disappointed, but I get it. He was fighting emotional. I get it. I know why he made the decisions that he made. But overall, just dominated Colby Covington. Colby Covington looked slow. Colby Covington was never really a threat to Leon Edwards. Leon Edwards did get tired. I said this too. I don't like it when Leon Edwards goes into the 4th and the 5th, because he's always tired, and that's when he starts to lose rounds and puts himself in very tough spots. But somehow he manages to put himself in good positions too in these later rounds, but he clearly always looks tired. So I do want to say that, because we saw it. We saw him get tired and slow down a bit. So and Colby capitalized on that. And it felt like that was Colby's plan, like to take it to deep waters. I think he wanted to wrestle like 1 through 5 and hope that like in the 4th and the 5th he could tap out Leon, but clearly had no action till the 5th when Leon was really tired and when Leon gave up some positions and that's when Colby took advantage. But Colby only got, he was only able to take down and be on top on Leon because Leon decided to take it there. It wasn't because Colby got the takedown and put Leon in those positions. Leon could have got up, and he decided not to. And that's why he got in the position where he was at the end of the fight. So, yeah. But beautiful performance from Leon. I don't understand what the hype was with Colby, and I never did. The dude hasn't fought in a year and 9 months. And after I saw Leon versus Usman, the second one and the third one, and then the Nate Diaz fight, I was just like, bro, Leon is just too good. He's just too good. With the takedowns and the grappling exchanges that he had with Usman, I was like, bro, the fact that he's in this fight like this with Usman, and you're fighting Colby Covington, who's a little bit on the older side now, and he hasn't fought in a year and 9 months, there's just no way. Like, it's just no fucking way. And it was unbelievable that people really thought Colby was going to win because there was just a huge skill gap. And I was like, bro, what? Like, I don't know what you guys are seeing. Like, I don't know what you guys see here. And the highlights, even in the UFC promo, these are highlights from like 2019, 2018 from Colby. Like, they're old highlights. There's nothing about Colby that just stands out. So, again, very one-sided fight. Couldn't touch Leon, and Leon just beat the shit out that leg, and that was the best game plan Leon could have done. Again, I wish we saw the best version of Leon because I was looking forward to that. So, but it's all right. It's all right. And now we got to talk about like what's next for Leon Edwards, and this is where we'll talk a little bit about Shavkat, Belal Muhammad, and a little bit of Kamaru Usman. What's next in the welterweight division? It's really exciting. Second title defense for Leon Edwards, and he did amazing. Won another decision, which is crazy. 10 rounds, 2 title fights. You can say 15 rounds and 3 title fights. So all his title fights been to distance. So I think his cardio is going to get better, and his experience is just going to get better. And I think Belal and Shavkat are very, very good contenders for Leon Edwards. And Leon Edwards said that Belal Muhammad doesn't deserve a title shot, and I was a little mixed emotions because again, I'm not a fan of Belal Muhammad, but I mean he's all right, like he's all right. I'm pulling up his record. Sorry guys, let's do Belal Muhammad's 23-3. Is that what it looks like? His last fight was that no contest against Leon Edwards. After that, he beat Damian Maia, Stephen Thompson, Vincent Luque, Sean Brady, and Gilbert Burns. So Sean Brady, Vincent Luque, Stephen Thompson, pretty impressive wins. I wouldn't against Gilbert. It wasn't impressive. Gilbert tore his shoulder, and I think Gilbert would have got the best of him. And maybe I'm being biased, but I'm just speaking how I see it. And then the other guy, we got Shavkat Rakhmonov, and another contender. And the question is now, like, who should Leon Edwards fight? And he has to fight one of these two guys. There's no doubt about it. So let me see real quick. All right, so he's 18-0, 18 finishes. All right, so he finished Stephen Thompson, Geoff Neal, Neil Magny, who's that? Carlston Harris, and Mitchell Prozars, and Alex Oliveira. So I would say Belal Muhammad's recent fights are a little bit more impressive. Sean Brady, Gilbert Burns, and I'm missing a name. And Stephen Thompson. So I give the upper hand to Belal Muhammad just because of that, just because of those names. And I am being fair. As much as I don't like Belal, I find him annoying. I don't think he's that good. But, I'm speaking it how it is and how fair it should be. And, the UFC is not the fairest, but Belal Muhammad is a hated guy, and he gets a lot of eyeballs. And I think, Leon Edwards and Belal Muhammad is the fight to make next for the next title shot. UFC 300 is in April. I think that's more than enough time. You have December, January, February, March, April, and it could potentially co-headline or headline. But I would like to see it. They fought already before, or somewhat fought. They had a no contest, and Leon Edwards to me was winning that fight. And I think he was going to finish Belal Muhammad. I think he still beats Belal Muhammad. I know Belal Muhammad is still, I mean, he's gotten better, and he's a pretty decent fighter. I would love to see, Belal Muhammad versus a Colby, Belal Muhammad versus a Shavkat versus Colby, Gilbert Burns versus Colby. I know Gilbert Burns is fighting JDM. So that the welterweight division is exciting, but I think Leon gets the best of most guys. The only guy that does really scare me is Shavkat for Leon, and that's a fight that would be a fucking banger. But I think Shavkat should fight Kamara. I think he should fight Kamara Usman. I know it's a really tough fight, but I think that fight should happen. Kamara Usman doesn't have a fight lined up, and why not? Just why not? But I think Belal's next. That's kind of what I really do want to say. Belal Muhammad is next. Again, much as I don't like him, he's next, and I think it's a good fight. Stylistically, I think we'll see a lot of fight on the feet, a lot of fight on the ground, and it would be entertaining. It would sell you a lot of pay-per-views, and it would get a lot of eyeballs. There'd be a lot of chirping. Nothing too crazy like Colby, but it will be there, and it would be a good fight. I'm not going to deny that, and I will say, I don't know why Leon keeps saying like Colby doesn't deserve a title shot, Belal Muhammad doesn't deserve a title shot. Well, then who does, Leon? Because you keep saying these people don't deserve title shots. Well, then who does? Honestly, like who does? I don't know if he's just saying that and just cause, and he's saying that like knowing damn well he's gonna fight him next, and he's like trying to prove a point like this is why you didn't deserve a title shot. I don't know if that's strategy there or if that's really how he feels. But I think Leon Edwards honestly doesn't really care who he fights. He's just kind of speaking his mind, and he knows that he's not there he doesn't pick and choose. I think he knows his role in the UFC, and he knows like, if this is the guy I got to fight, I'll fight it. But I think he doesn't deserve a title shot. I really think that's Leon's approach. So, I see people hating on Leon Edwards. We're like, including myself, like, well then, okay, Leon, who deserves the title shot then? If you're saying Belal Muhammad does it. But he's not going to duck Belal. I don't think he'll duck anybody. And he's just kind of expressing what he thinks and how he feels. And more power to you. Even though you are a fighter, it's okay to say those things. So, because for me as a fan or an analysis guy, like, I didn't think Colby deserved a title shot. Like, it makes sense that I say that. But if Leon Edwards says it, it seems like he's trying to duck or not fight, Colby or Belal Muhammad. But, I think he's just speaking his mind, but he'll fight whoever he needs to fight no matter what. And, Leon, just be a little bit, the only thing I will say about Leon, I want Leon to be a little bit more, I think he's too humble right now. That's really how I feel about Leon. And I want him to be a little bit like, all right, bitch, come on, like, let's fight. I want this person next. Like, just go after people, like, but he seems a little bit laid back, and I know that's how he is. He's a pretty chill dude. But I just want him to be like, man, come on. All right, Belal's next. Let's do it. Let's do it in April. Let's do it. Like, come on. Let's fucking go. I'll beat his ass too. I already did it the first time. Let's run it back again. Like, that's kind of the type of energy I want from Leon Edwards. And hopefully over time we'll see it. But, we can't change who he is. So I think that fight needs to happen. And for Shavkat, I mean, he could get the winner of JDM and Gilbert Burns or Kamara Usman. I think those two names or those two potential fights are pretty good names for Shavkat. And if he gets the win, I think Shavkat should get the title fight right after that. And whether it's Leon or Belal, I think they should fight. So, but Leon Edwards versus Belal, and then after that should be Shavkat for the title. That's really what I got to say. UFC 296. A very, very good card. Probably not the best one of the year. I did expect a little bit more explosiveness, but the champions stay champs, and the people that were supposed to win ideally won, except for the Emmett, Josh Emmett, and Bryce Mitchell. And a lot of people seem like Emmett was gonna win, but Mitchell was the favorite, and every other fight went how it was supposed to go. Pantoja favorite, Shavkat favorite, Paddy the favorite, and Leon was the favorite. So. The fight just wasn't, it went as expected, you could say, the card. But overall, very good and a good way to end the year. and we won't have UFC pay-per-view till a month from now. And I think the next fight night is literally 3 weeks from now instead of 4. But when we get it, we get Johnny Walker versus Ankalaev, and then the following week we get Sean Strickland versus Dricus. And talking about Dricus and Sean, they had that situation. Don't know what was said, don't know what would happen, and people say, like, you know, Dricus said this, whatever. Who knows whether it was true or not? I know Sean said something about being abused as a kid on one of his posts. But it looks like Sean went after him somehow, some way. It looked like Sean got a little fucked up, honestly, and he was on the ground. So who knows what happened? But I see a lot of people talking about, like, they're talking like, oh, why did the UFC show this? Or is this good for the sport? This is bad for the sport? Whatever. And I will bring up, too, also the Colby situation, bringing up his dad. I think he did take it a little too far, but I don't think it's bad for the sport. You know, he's just, there's shitty people everywhere. You know, whether Colby was in character or not, it was a shitty thing to do. And I won't say it's good for the sport. I won't say it's bad for the sport, but Dana White made a good point. 25%, you know, their pay-per-view buys went up 25%. You know, and that just goes to show you, you know, the shit talking or the bad blood sells you fights. And as much as we don't like seeing, like, you know, Colby Covington say shit about Leon's dad, like, it's not cool, you know, it was kind of it's a win-win for everybody except for Leon Edwards, you know, the champion, which is a bit unfair because he was the one that fought emotional. Us, as, you know, the fans, we were entertained. We were excited to see this fight. As the UFC, you make more money because you got more people watching this fight. But Leon's the one fighting emotional, and I think he's the only one that loses in the situation. But it's nothing to get upset about, you know, and it's kind of annoying where the MMA community is going, especially on Twitter. Even with boxing, I see a lot of things, and it makes me upset because I'm like, bro, let's just stop, you know, trying to fix stuff. Like, let things how it is. Like, if the UFC's like this, that's fine. Let it be that way. You know, if I'm saying this, let me say my shit, bro. Like, who cares? They're all opinions. They're all thoughts. No one has to be right. Who cares if you're wrong? And I think any publicity is good publicity for the UFC. And I love the UFC. I love the organization. I love the fights. I love the fighters. Like, it's entertaining to me. And I thought Colby was a fucking asshole and he's a piece of shit for saying what he said. But are we going to cancel Colby? No. Are we going to do this? Are we going to do anything? Are we going to take money away from Colby? No. Are we going to cancel? Oh, I already said that. But, like, what do you guys want us to do? Like, he's a shitty person. That's who he is, whether he was in character or not. What are we going to do? Who fucking cares, bro? Do you want the UFC to put out an announcement? Oh, we apologize that, you know, Colby Covington said this. He should have never said that. That's some pussy ass shit. Honestly. But, like, they're fighting. They're going in there to kill each other. Honestly. And there's a referee to stop that from happening. But, you know, in the boxing ring, the cage, any type of combat sport, they're going in there for the kill. You know, and they're going in there knowing they could not walk out of there alive. Luckily, they have doctors and referees that shit doesn't happen, but it could happen, and they're ready for that. So I hate seeing all this nonsense on the MMA community, like, oh, this is disgusting, or like, oh, they shouldn't show this, or like when they showed the Dricus and Sean, why is the UFC showing this? It's a pay-per-view event. They can do whatever the fuck they want. Like, they can do whatever they want. Why are people getting mad about it? And it's so fucking annoying. Like, if the UFC wants to show it, let them show it. If they want to sign Bud Light, let them sign with Bud Light. What are we going to do about it? Zero. Nothing. You know? And the UFC has gotten where they gotten because of the decisions they made. So they know how to run a fucking business, and a successful one too. And it's just annoying. It's just annoying seeing people trying to correct shit and getting all butthurt about shit. Who fucking cares? You know, I wasn't saying like, oh, the UFC shouldn't show this. I was like, damn, Colby's a piece of shit. That was it. And it blows my mind that people get so caught up on this stuff, man. But that's all I gotta say about that. I'm gonna stop, you know, going on a rant. Lastly, Jake Paul defeats I don't know what this guy's name, but I know part of his name was Andre. He got brutally knocked out. I don't want to say brutally, but he got knocked out. I did say that it was weird that Jake Paul wasn't promoting this fight and this and that. So And I said either Jake Paul's scared that he's going to lose, or Jake Paul really just wants to work on his skills. And even that he won, excuse me, even that he won, like, he's not being so loud about it. He's not being vocal. He's not like, ha, ha, ha. He's just like, all right, I beat this guy and whatever, you know, like that. He's just chill about it. And I fuck with that because it really does show that he just wants to get better at boxing and he wants to compete in the sport. Like, he legit wants to compete in the sport. That's what it looks like. And I hate seeing KSI and Jake Paul, like, you know, being tied together. Like, I'm getting tired of seeing it because, you know, for the KSI fans out there, KSI is not a boxer. You know, I would consider Jake Paul a pro boxer now at this point. He's active. You know, that was his, second fight this year, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, it was his second fight this year. But he's been active, fighting twice a year, you know, having these events consistently. He's consistently boxing, consistently in the gym. And KSI is just, you know, he's just doing it because it seems like Jake Paul's doing it. So I don't like seeing them, you know, their names attached to each other. Jake Paul looks like he's trying to do his own thing and focus on himself. And the fact that KSI had to do a sparring match with Speed, like, just for clout and just because of Jake, like, it's just ugly. It's just like, bro, what are you doing? And it seems like he's embarrassing himself, and he still seems like he's struggling with the loss with Tommy, and saying that he doesn't want to fight Jake Paul because he's not a draw anymore. And I'm like, they didn't even promote this fight. I don't know, man. I think it's weird with the whole KSI situation on Jake. Like, it seems like KSI is not I don't want to use the word obsessed, but he looks like he's just watching what Jake does all the time and just wants to be better than him. And it's weird. It's a weird dynamic. Like, it's weird from a person that you dedicate your time and you make these decisions off this person. Like, it's weird. I don't know, man. Like, if I saw another MMA, like, if I was, like, looking at MMA Guru and just constantly looking at his shit and just shitting on him. And it's like, that's weird. Like, why am I making content trying to be better than this guy? Like, that's weird. And that's what KSI is doing. So, good for Jake Paul, though. Got a big win, and he's just going to keep getting better. And who knows where he'll stop, or if it ever stops, like, if he's really going to do this, or what's going to happen. So I am excited to see the direction that Jake Paul takes. I don't really care to see the KSI fight. You know, it'll sell you a lot, but you should have done it this year, and it would have sold you more than probably any time ever. And it seems like people are going to start losing interest in that fight. And I just don't see it happening. I don't think KSI wants to do it. So that's just how I feel. Guys, that's it. I think I talked a lot on this episode, but I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys were entertained. This one is the last one of the year. Again, thank you guys so much. It means a lot to me. And it's been a great year, you know, for the False Nine. It's been a great 2023. And we're signing off. We're signing off with a long banger episode. And I'm so fucking thankful, guys. You have no idea. I don't even want to stop recording because I just want to keep telling you guys how thankful I am. But I need to stop because I need to get about my day. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas. I hope you guys have a Happy New Year. And yeah, guys, like, you know, I'll see you guys next year. And we're going to come better and stronger than ever. Like 2024, we are going balls to the wall. And we have big goals for the year, and we have big content plans. So hopefully we can do that together. And I'll see you guys on the next one. I'll see you guys in 2024. Peace.